Well, the director of football at Juventus has gone ahead to speak about Vlahovic's anticipated transfer to Arsenal. Arsenal fans, please tighten your seatbelts because it's really one of the shocking stories that we'll ever want to get. But I tell you, this is not always the final stance because these things keep changing. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? Rokani David is my name. It's a Saturday. This is the second Saturday of the month, second Saturday of the year 2024. And the Muslims Barakallahu Fikum. You know, everything is really moving on nice, you know. And we are here to bring you Vlahovic story. We are having a Phil Foden into the mix. And we are having a Unai Emery speaking out onto the game they're going to play over the weekend. And he has been named the manager for the month of December, and you're going to see, did he deserve it? Yes or no? And that's what we're going to discuss about onto this YouTube channel. So let's see close to 100 likes smash this video. Don't forget to obviously smash the like button and subscribe, guys, to this channel. Now let's start it off with a story coming in through from Nicolo Schira. He's a sports journalist, expert in transfer market. He has told us that despite the rumors, there are no talks ongoing for Dusan Vlahovic to Arsenal from Juventus, which do not want to sell him. So we had rumors coming in from Italy that Arsenal is wanting Dusan Vlahovic. They want to sign him in the January transfer window. And remember, he is a player they've been really scouting for a very long period of time, having gone ahead to make a bid when he was still at Fiorentina, and he stabbed Arsenal and he went to Juventus. So Vlahovic is really one of those deals that are really there to say to it that Arsenal are pushing to do the deal, and it's said that there are no talks for Dusan Vlahovic from Arsenal and Juventus. Now, even the director of Juventus, known as Guintoli, he told us that bid from Arsenal for Dusan Vlahovic, he said, we don't know anything about that story. There is nothing. Vlahovic is not for sale. So this was reported via Fabrizio Romano, and you know, he's in Italy and he knows exactly the depth at which these transfers might really happen. Now, when you look at Vlahovic not being accepted to leave the side of Juventus, where does it leave Arsenal? That is the big question. Where does it leave Arsenal? Because I've seen very many people prioritizing that Arsenal needs a centre forward. And I've always gone to tell people that it's not all about the centre forward. Now, if you create chances for Gabriel Jesus, has he failed to score any? Yeah. But how many chances do they create for him on average? That is the biggest question. So I've already said stories like these, if a director of Juventus comes out and says that Vlahovic is not for sale, I think it plays well into the hands of Arsenal. You've seen me, how I'm reacting to the story of Amadou Onana. For Amadou Onana to obviously coming through and really say that, and stories coming through that Arsenal preparing a bid for Amadou Onana, I said that's a positive move in the right direction because it gives Arsenal a lot of options in that midfield. And trust me, Arsenal lack an Onana kind of player in that midfield, and it will increase what we call the competition. You know, if you're having Declan Rice and Amadou Onana, you know, you can even shift the system to a 4-2-3-1. You play with two midfielders in a double pivot, Declan Rice and Amadou Onana. You put Odegaard ahead, and Odegaard will thrive in the final third of the pitch. So Amadou Onana is a right move in the right direction for Arsenal. That's why I've gone ahead and said that if Juventus have gone ahead to say that it's a no sell for Vlahovic this winter transfer window, it's really great for the side of Arsenal. Like it or hate it, it's really good for Arsenal. For me, as a person who really believes that Arsenal needs to strengthen in different other fields, because every team is built from the goalkeeper to the defenders to the midfielders, and the strikers come last. This is what exactly Jose Mourinho said when he was at Chelsea and went at Inter Milan, Real Madrid, and everywhere, that all he needs is that you have in a very good goalkeeper. Remember, at Chelsea, they brought in Petr Cech, and we obviously experienced how good he was when he was doing stuff for Czech Republic in the Euros 2004. He came in through at Chelsea, and he was approved by Jose Mourinho. Remember, Ranieri was sacked, and Jose Mourinho went ahead to come in through after winning the Champions League at FC Porto. From FC Porto, he came, I think there are two players. He bought Carvalho, who partnered with John Terry, and they made one of the best central defense partnerships in the Premier League history. And he also came with Deco. He had players like Winebridge. He had players like Asia De La Hono. He had players like, I think Jeremy Njitap was at Chelsea. Then in the midfield, he had Claude Makelele. By the time, to me, he was the best CDM in the world. Deco playing ahead of him. Arjen Robben and Jesper Bronkia, playing on either wings. And then had Hernan Crespo, Edu Gudjensson. Then he added on Didier Drogba and very many others. Michael Essien. So he built his side, and it was really strong. You get? So if you are to follow what even other teams are really doing, that's exactly what they've gone ahead to do to revolutionize their teams. And that's what Arsenal should look at. And I really feel bad for a fan of Arsenal calling in for Arsenal to bring in a centre forward, because look at Pep Guardiola when he was coming in through at the side of Man City. Guess what he first did? There was this other goalkeeper that is now at Rangers, the keeper at Manchester City. Born and bred from Manchester City, academy graduate, and he said, no, I don't want him here. He went in for Edison Molares. After Edison Molares, there was Vincent Kompany, but he went in for other defenders, the Laportes of this world. Then you see the Diaz's. Now you see he has gone ahead to bring in Vesco, Gvadio, Now, he's strengthening the back line. He's now battling with the midfield. He has Erling Haaland. But remember, before he brought in Erling Haaland, he never had a striker. But because his team was really great, it went ahead to win very many trophies without a striker. So Arsenal has to first strengthen. They should get in an elite flying right back or left back. They should strengthen their midfield. They should get in a player to compete with Bukayo Saka. After that, they will think about the centre forward, because even if you get in a number 9 and your team is not giving him services that are really desired, nothing is going to happen. So, for me, I think that Vlahovic transfer to Arsenal, being given a no by the director Guintoli from Juventus, to me is a blessing in disguise. Arsenal should look at other positions, because you can get in a right back who can obviously save your season at like £20 million this season. I personally believe a right back who is really flying can really change a lot at the side of Arsenal, because you cannot be starting him every game, but let him play close to 20 minutes, especially in games where Arsenal is not opening up very well, such that Bukayo Saka inverts inside and you have very many numbers in the final third of the pitch, and you let the touchline or the width, all that distance after the inside tunnels for the right back, flying right back. And if at all Julian Timber returns on time, that can also work well for the side of Arsenal. So that's what my thoughts is, and I shouldn't be, if at all I'm an Arsenal fan, I have no reason to obviously feel embarrassed if at all stuff is going in like this, that Vlahovic is not coming. I will just say, all right, who are we going to bring in? That is it. That would have been my question. Now, the manager for the Premier League month of Aston Villa has been named, and guess who it is? It is none other than Unai Emery, who is really having a very fantastic season at the side of Aston Villa. When you look at the games when they had to play in December, right? His first Premier League game in December, he drew with Bournemouth 2-2. He beat Manchester City 1-0. He beat Arsenal 1-0, and he went ahead to draw with Sheffield 1-1. He lost to Manchester United 3-2, and he beat Burnley 3-2. So he went ahead to obviously win that trophy, and it was really shown to him as a manager, and he was really happy. And I think well deserved for him. That is it. Well deserved for the manager, because he really deserves it. Hard work pains, but pays, and that is him presenting the Premier League Manager of the Month award. So, great. I think ever since this season started, he hadn't really gone ahead to really win one because Ange Postecoglou had really overrode him and he was really winning them forth and back, or back and forth. I'm happy for him, and all I'm telling him is that even the sky is not the limit for him because there are footsteps on the moon. So we wait and see how that is gonna really happen. But after that, we went ahead and obviously had the following. What is it? Emery said, we have very good players in the squad and we have to manage some change and try to improve some positions. We are going to be very demanding because it's not easy to change something and improve. So Emery is really vocal on what his team is gonna do, and he wants to see that everything elevates from where it is to the next level as a side of Aston Villa. And trust me, Villa is doing wonders this season, and I don't think that they're going to complete the top 4 positions. That is it, because that team is going to be overstretched. They're still in the FA Cup, they're still in the Premier League, and they're still playing the UEFA Europa League. So I don't think that squad can stretch well. Remember, in the UEFA Europa League, we are going to go into the knockout stages around February or March. So that means that Emery's side needs to flaunt its first 11 on Thursday and on Sunday. So how are they going to cope up? And it's to it that towards the end of the year, Aston Villa had gotten their foot off the pedal. It was like they had gone ahead to obviously hold the handbrake. So they've not been having beautiful results. That is it. And you saw them really struggling to beat the side of Middlesbrough. And tomorrow they're hosting Everton. Everton is hosting them, one of the hugest games that you cannot come out and guarantee that they are going to really get at Goosons Park. That is it. So these remaining games are really very important. And remember, after that, on the 26th of January, remember after tomorrow they are going to rest for some 2 weeks. They return to play against Chelsea, in the FA Cup 4th round, and then they're having Newcastle, they're having Manchester United. So it's not going to be easy for them, right? So we wait and see how that pans out, but it's really going to be a hard fixture for them. And it might result to be as a bumpy ride for that side of Aston Villa. Now, let's go to Phil Foden. He has gone ahead and really said the following to the manager of Man City. He says, I feel support from Pep Guardiola. He's always trying to improve me and telling me where, so I like that. I'm enjoying this position now because I'm getting a lot more involved and a lot more touches. Hopefully, I can continue to play there. Now, when we come out and really tell you that there is a lad in town, Phil Foden, people have always gone ahead to doubt. But trust me, he's really one of the best players in this modern generation of England. And when you look at his abilities, they are really diverse. And it remains to be seen whether the manager of England will see what Pep Guardiola is seeing in Phil Foden. Phil Foden is having a very fantastic season. If you've gone ahead to look at his stats this season, they are really very, very amazing. If at all you've been following him up, he has a couple of goals in the Premier League and the Champions League, because in the Premier League has gone ahead to play 19 games, 5 goals and 6 assists. You get? And the season is just halfway. Last season he had 11 goals in 32 games and 5 assists. Those are 16 goal involvements, meaning that this season he could do better. He has just gone ahead to surpass the total number of assists made last season. Last season he made 5, and this season he's having 6. Goals, 5 in 19 games. Club World Cup, he scored 1 goal. Then UEFA Champions League, he has 3 goals and 2 assists. EFL Cup, I think even in the FA Cup, he scored a brace. If I'm not mistaken, let me check. Man City, their game that saw them really put 5 past, is it Huddersfield? I saw him really score a brace, meaning that he's really having very many goals as a player. Where is that result? Huddersfield, Man City. Phil Foden scored a brace. So, if he scored a brace onto that fixture, if you are to really add up his goals in total this season, they are as follows. 5 in the Premier League plus 2 in the FA Cup, those are 7. 1 in the World Club Cup, those are 8. 3 in the Champions League, those are 11 goals. And the assists, 2 in the Champions League, 6 in those are 8, meaning that he now has a goal involvement of 20 or a goal contribution of 20 this season. And trust me, he's going to create more and more and more, because Pep Guardiola is a man who keeps demanding. And he's part of that saying of Erik ten Hag that is really famous, that good is not good enough. That's what Erik ten Hag always says. So guys, thank you very much for obviously watching in. Tell me your thoughts about Vlahovic transfer to Arsenal not possible, as the Juventus director has gone ahead and obviously given us his word that the guy is not for sale. What do you make about Unai Emery being named the manager for the month of December, and Phil Foden explaining Pep Guardiola support he's giving him to turn him into a player that he really wants? May the living to God bless you abundantly. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. We sign out.